Hey everyone, and welcome back to February's boxing review. And today we're going to be looking back at all of February's boxing action, and I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on events that occurred and what may be coming down the line for some of these fighters. So we're starting off at the beginning of February. It was in New York at the MSG Hulu Theatre. We had Amanda Serrano headlining against Erica Cruz for the undisputed featherweight title. And Amanda Serrano came out victorious in this fight, and actually it's a good fight, to be fair. Is maybe the bloodied up Erica Cruz, the visuals made it seem a lot better than it actually was, as Serrano was just way more technical, just landing jabs and backhands straight to Cruz's face for a good while in that fight. But yeah, so that obviously sets up the Katie Taylor rematch, which Eddie Hearn brought Katie Taylor into the ring after she won, ran the promo of everything, and May 20th, if I'm not mistaken, in Ireland, Katie Taylor's homecoming, set up the second fight. And if it's after the first fight, they can take my money, because if it's anywhere near as good as that was, I'll be happy. It was an amazing first fight. Deserved rematch, I think. Both deserve to make a lot of money out of this one after the performance they put in. And yeah, it's a massive fight for boxing, not just women's boxing. Yeah. Also on that card on the undercard was the undisputed super featherweight titles, where Alicia Baumgartner won against Mekhaled. Baumgartner, fairly routine win, went in as a favourite, really battered the other girl, to be fair, throwing those bombs that she does. So yeah, Alicia Baumgartner, one of my favourite women's fighters now, to be fair. She goes in, you're going to get entertained no matter what. And yeah, not too sure what's next for her. Obviously, Michaela Meyer rematch, I see is really the only way she can go in, makes her a lot of money in a big fight, because obviously the first one was contentious, close fight, so run it back, obviously brings in a lot of eyes as the first one was so close. And yeah, hope to see that one in the future for both of them. Then moving over to the UK, the week after, we had Boxers Show, where Adam Azim was headlining once again, and it was a good, tough, I can't remember if it's Central American, South American fighter came over and took it to decision with Adam Azim. Adam Azim obviously won majority of the rounds, but yeah, Adam Azim looked real good once again. Wasn't his best performance, obviously, but the rounds I think I needed at this stage of his career, and showed a few, maybe not weak spots, but places he can really improve once he gets up to the higher competitors, where they will take advantage of these things. Like, he got hit on the chin a few times, and if that's someone with a lot more quality, he could be in trouble. So you need to assess that now, sort it out now. And yeah, I'm still hyped about Adam Azim. There's everything to love about him. Obviously, Sky build him up to be their new pay-per-view star, and yeah, excited to see where he goes in the future. And after the week after, in Nottingham, the fight I was most excited for the month of February, Leigh Wood against Maurizio Lara for the featherweight world title. Build up, the hype around the fight was incredible. See, Leigh Wood had an incredible win against Michael Conlan last time out, and everyone in the UK boxing scene knows about Maurizio Lara. Obviously came over during the pandemic and beat Josh Warrington. Massive upset there. And yeah, they made this fight was originally scheduled for September, I believe, and obviously Leigh Wood, I think, suffered a hand injury, so they've run it back. Fair play to Leigh Wood, this is one of the most dangerous men in the division, one of the heaviest punchers. Decided to take the fight, but in the end came up short. 7th round TKO by Maurizio Lara, as he, I think it was left hook straight that straight into Lee Wood's chin. Got up unsteady, and then obviously there was a massive contentious thing about Ben Davison in Lee Wood's corner throwing in the towel with 10 seconds left to go, and whether there's been a lot of talk whether that was the right decision or not. My opinion, I said it as soon as I saw it, I think it was the right decision. When Lee Wood got up, forget about how long's left in the round, I think when he got up, you saw his legs, they weren't steady. I think the ref, maybe because he was a home fighter, gave him a little more time. He made the 8 count, got up, ref gave him a couple seconds more. Can you give me your gloves? He did put his gloves up another second, or he looked at him again fully to assess. It's got extra time, but Ben Davison made decisions to throw in the towel, which I think was the correct decision, because even if there's 10 seconds left, Maurizio Lara's power, you don't know what could have happened. He could have been flat out on the floor, on an oxygen mask, paramedics, you never know. So I think it was the right decision from Ben Davison there. And yeah, well, I think it was just a brilliant fight. Lee Wood was actually ahead on the scorecards and was winning the fight quite decisively up until that point, but you go in with a puncher, they've always got a chance, and Maurizio Lara did it. And so yeah, hoping they run that back. I believe there was a rematch clause in the contract, so yeah, hoping to see the second of that fight, because if it's as good and as close as the first one, another brilliant rematch that will be available for us to watch. And then obviously it was yesterday from filming this, there was the Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury card in Saudi Arabia. So we'll get on to that in a minute. First of all, looking at the undercard, there was a cruiserweight world title fight on it, and it was Ilunga Makabu against Badu Jack. So Badu Jack, 39. He actually won by I think it was TKO in the 12th round. Yeah, and Badu Jack became a freeweight world champion, and at that age, with that big of a weight jump, obviously up to cruiserweight, amazing. He's been around for years, and freeweight world champion at 39 is incredible. But yeah, Makabu lost his belt. In all honesty, he just didn't look good. It was one of the first proper times I've watched him, and he just looked all over the place. His balance, I don't know, he was just falling over his feet a lot, and he got knocked down in 4th round or something. He just tripped over practically. He got hit with a shot and just lost his balance fully, and he just, I don't know, just looked all over the place and didn't look like a world champion, dare I say it. And so yeah, Badu Jack now a world champion, and see what he does now. There's obviously lots of options over here in the UK. I believe on Twitter he's seeing Chris Billam-Smith, Richard Riakporhe and all that, who are fighting for a world title, who wanting that next step of a world title fight, should be licking their lips at this. I think an age Badu Jack looked quite fleshy, obviously his age and getting up to that weight, wasn't in as good a shape as they will be, and earlier and younger as they are. So I think they should be trying to get this fight, because for them I think it's an easy world title, dare I say it. And yeah, and then on to the main event, obviously an 8-round novice fight, you should put it. Obviously Jake Paul, everyone knows. Tommy Fury, Tyson's little brother, got Big John in his corner, obviously. Back and forth on social media for ages, Tommy pulling out of a few fights, and people wanting Jake to test himself against an actual boxer, and in the end, the actual boxer beat Jake Paul. It went to decision in the end, but I think Tommy's just skills, you see he's done it for his whole life. It just came through the jab, just the working around the outside. And yeah, Jake Paul's first loss, he didn't look great, to be fair. I mean, you can say he's got heart, got in the ring, gave it his best at what he can do at this point. But yeah, Tommy Fury came out victorious. And yeah, so who knows where they're both going to go in the influencer scene of boxing. And hopefully they go on to make a lot of money. So yeah, and that's all from February, and looking forward to March's boxing we actually have maybe not so many top cards, and I think it's to do with the UFC. Obviously UFC London, March 18th, which I think has taken away from maybe the big star headlines boxing cards, and obviously we've got to wait to April for AJ and other like big world title fights. So in March there's a little bit going on. So March 11th we have Callum Smith against Powell, step in at light heavyweight. Obviously Callum Smith, one of the top three light heavyweights in the country right now. You obviously have Anthony Yarde coming off that defeat but looked good against Beterbiev. You've got Callum Smith, obviously champion at the weight division below. Joshua Buatsi and Dan Aziz is coming up, looking really strong. I really like the look of Dan Aziz, but yeah, he's stepping up in his hometown. Liverpool probably really should fight. He shouldn't be fighting someone of this level right now. He needs to be fighting the top people, world title shots, world title contenders. Yeah, this is really just a takeover fight. I believe whatever Eddie Hearn can move him on to, the title shot, Bivol, Beterbiev is really what he needs. I believe he's mandatory for one of Beterbiev's belts, and that's really what he needs. Callum Smith, he's probably too good for this level opponent, but yeah, we'll see about that. And also on the same date over in Paris, I believe Sky Sports have got his card. I think it's co-promoted with Boxer. In the heavyweight division, you've got Tony Yoka versus Carlos Takam, sorry. And yeah, Tony Yoka, obviously former Olympian, gold medal I believe, should knock over Carlos Takam. We've seen him over here at AJ, Chisora. Should be a walkover. It's just a tough heavyweight coming in with good chin, but shouldn't really challenge Tony Yoka. Obviously coming off the loss from Martin Piccoli. Also on that card as mentioned earlier, Dan Aziz fighting for the European light heavyweight title, going away fighter for this, and hopefully he comes away with the dub, as Dan Aziz moving on quickly, looks good every time, takes a step up and looks good every time, and who knows where he'll be in a year's time, maybe in that Callum Smith, Josh Buatsi range of world titles. Also, March 18th, I said, it's the same day as the UFC event in the UK, so maybe not the highest levels of fights going on. I believe there's a next gen card up in Newcastle with Matchroom on DAZN, and a few up and coming talents, nothing really to talk about that much. Then we've got a world title fight on March the 25th. Lawrence Okolie is finally back in action against David Light for his cruiserweight title. Yeah, so Okolie should be winning this and then moving on to unifications. Really, it's been so long since he won his world title, has been a bit inactive, obviously promotions changing and whatever, but yeah, he needs to look good back on Sky Sports, look good, decisive victory. Either they make the Rakpur fight, which would be huge, British dust up, or they really need to go for the unifications, which I believe is the correct route for Okolie. Unify those belts, aim for undisputed, because who knows if it's still the thing, but forever and ever, remember, Okolie's been told he will be moving up to heavyweight, and he looks nowhere near ready to move up to heavyweight, that he'll do any good at heavyweight right now. He needs to prove himself still at cruiserweight, even though he's a world title holder. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Also, I believe in America there's a big super middleweight fight, David Benavidez against Caleb Plant over in America, and yeah, winner of that potentially is next in line for a Canelo fight, which obviously everyone wants with Caleb Plant, Benavidez coming up towards that Canelo fight, and yeah, we'll see what happens there. And so yeah, that's it, looking back at February's action today. And so yeah, I'd just like to thank you guys for watching. Please stick around and wait for next time's boxing review. I think in the next couple of weeks as well, going to be switching up from boxing, might be doing a Formula 1 prediction video as the new season comes up, and I'm a big Formula 1 fan. So yeah, stick around, like, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you next time.